Hello, and welcome to the On The Go Show, a variety show where two friends talk pop culture and current events. If you would like to join the conversation, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at On The Go with Jacob and James. Without further ado, let's start the show. James, I've been on a heist movie kick.
A heist movie? Really?
Yeah. Over the past week or so, Khadija and I have been watching all kinds of heist movies. It started with Logan Lucky.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember it came out in theaters, and there was a lot of buzz about it because, I mean, first of all, the cast it's kind of strange. It's like Daniel Craig, and you got Adam Driver, and you got Channing Tatum.
Yep.
You know, it's a strange cast. Seth MacFarlane's in there. He's a guy. He's a character. Is it Jack Quaid? Dennis Quaid's son? He plays Huey on The Boys.
Yep.
That's one of his, I guess, like, kind of first movies coming up. Or probably not his first movies, but it's one of his movies before The Boys comes out. I'll leave it at that. I just remember, like, the movie got a lot of buzz when it was coming out, and I finally got to sit down and watch it. And we really enjoyed it. Khadija really liked it. I really liked it. And that began the heist movie kick. And that led us into Army of Thieves, which is, you know, the Zack Snyder. You don't like Army of Thieves?
Not really.
Oh, man. What don't you like about Army of Thieves?
Because it's a prequel from the Army of the Dead. Not Army of the Dead, but that zombie movie.
It is Army of the Dead, yeah.
Yeah, Army of the Dead. It's a sequel. It's a prequel to that. And I just... It didn't really thrill me. It's nothing specific. I wasn't really attached to it. None of the characters warm me up or anything like that.
All right, well, that leads me to this. Because after we watched Army of Thieves, we watched Army of the Dead. Because, you know, Khadija really liked the Sebastian/Ludwig character.
Yep.
And I said, well, if you like him, he's also in this Army of the Dead movie, which is also kind of a heist movie. And we watched it. She didn't like Army of the Dead so much.
Understandable. I get that.
It is understandable because on the second watch, you know, when you compare those two movies, Army of the Thieves is the better movie. Even though it's a prequel and the second one to come out.
I'll give you that.
It's arguably the better movie. Army of the Dead just has like such a bad, like not a bad ending, but it's not a good ending. It doesn't end well for anybody in that film. It's one of the rare movies that like, oh, everybody just kind of fails.
It was supposed to be a sequel to that, obviously.
Yeah, Planet of the Dead, which I looked it up, and I guess it's still in development. It may come out in 2025, but Zack Snyder's got the whole Rebel Moon thing going on, and I think he just released an anime on Netflix too, Twilight of the Gods. So I don't know if he's ever coming back to this franchise.
Who knows?
But out of the two, Army of the Thieves was much better, and we really enjoyed watching Army of the Thieves. Movies, so. Yeah, and then we also watched the Now You See Me's, the magician heist movies.
I haven't saw all of them, but I think I saw the first one.
The first one's good. The second one is okay. You know, the first one's good because you kind of don't know everything that's going on, and the second one they have to build upon what you already know, and they have to find a way to throw in another twist into there. So it's all right. It's not the best. They're making a third one too, and that's apparently coming out next year. But again,
I did hear about that. Yeah, you're right.
Right, but again, there's been really no news on the production side of things. Enough about me, James. What have you been up to?
What have I been doing? I've been kind of trying to catch up on some different stuff that I've been reading.
Oh yeah,
yeah, just psychological books and stuff like that.
Ooh.
How-to books. It's nothing major. I need to get back into reading again.
You know, I do too.
Yeah.
You know, I read the mangas and stuff, but I need to read a real book.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's hard to get back into reading real books when you've just read comic books for however long.
There's nothing wrong reading comic books.
No, there's nothing wrong. There's still good stories, but you know, it's a little bit more frowned upon than reading a real book. I have a book floating around in my car that I bought from Barnes & Noble like weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I bought it because, first of all, it's a short little chapter book. It's like maybe 7 or 8 chapters. But the premise is interesting because it's this guy, he's dying from a brain tumor, and basically he gets visited by the devil, and the devil goes, hey, every day I'll take away something from the earth, from the world, and you get to live like another year or something like that. So every day the guy gets to pick what he wants everybody in the world to live without. So the first chapter starts with him going cell phones. Take cell phones away. And so the next chapter is about him, you know, living through life without the cell phones. And then at the end of that chapter, the devil's going to come around and hey, pick another thing. But I stopped after the first chapter. Wow. I just haven't been able to sit down and read it, and it's been in my car, and I'm I'm a bad bookworm. I'm not.
That happens, man. I mean, that's what books are for, though. They're for, you can go back and look at it again.
Yeah, and I mean, I do want to finish it. It's not a bad story. It's a neat premise to me, and I want to finish it. It's just I need like a book nook. You know what I mean? I need to sit down in a little area and read my book or whatever.
I guess it probably would have been the wrong time when you was on vacay. Remember?
Yeah, you're right. No, that would have been the perfect time. But no, I was busy
cleaning,
doing chores. Yeah, because I can't relax. I can't sit down and just relax anymore. I always have a list of things I want to get done. I don't relax until Khadijah comes home.
That's when you're supposed to relax.
Yeah. So when Khadijah's home and we're hanging out, that's relaxed time. Yeah. But on my own time, I'm just like, oh, I have this to do and I have that to do. And then when I don't have anything to do, I just kind of like sit around.
No, that's what you're supposed to do.
Just sit around.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Sit around. I mean, you okay, so you work at a job at a radio station where you have to hear commentary every day.
Yeah, that's true.
I can imagine how unfun that is.
That is true.
So, when you get home, you want to just kind of relax a little bit and decompress.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not like you're just a bum, just sit on your ass all damn day.
That is true. You have a fair point. You have a fair point there. But something else I've done, James, and I believe you've done it as well, is the first episode of Penguin came out.
That's something I did. I sat on my ass and watched the Penguin.
I did too. I watched the Penguin. And I don't know about you, but I liked the first episode.
Oh, I loved it.
I like the setting. I like the rising to the top. He's trying to pit the crime families against each other. I like the apprentice guy he picks up, Victor.
Well, that's what I was going to mention as we go into it. But I'm going to let you finish.
Okay. I like that. And I like the parallel of him meeting Victor being how Batman met Jason Todd because he was trying to steal his tires from his car.
Yep.
That was a neat little parallel there. A part of me just kind of wishes it was a movie, though. I get, you want to do this in between, mini series or whatever you got going on.
Yeah.
To buy time until Batman 2 comes out.
Which kind of helps, Jacob. I'm not gonna lie.
It's been a while, and yeah, I understand that. But at the same time, I feel like if you could have just made this a good 2-hour film, I would have been okay with that. Because I mean, the first episode was an hour and a half. It felt like a long time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, to me, it moved along so fast for me. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I really didn't care. I really didn't pay attention to the time.
I see.
I was just so enthralled with the story and being back into the story with Penguin, especially who's just Colin Farrell just stealing the show.
Yeah. I mean,
every time he's on.
It's very much Tony Soprano,
a little
in
bit.
This film.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, he's like an underdog Tony Soprano, I suppose, because he's not on top of the world or anything. He's still coming up.
He's going through it. I mean, you saw that man's feet?
Yeah. Well, did that happen in the Batman? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it happened. It happened during the flood, maybe, or after the flood, maybe.
Yeah, it's been so long since I saw the Batman.
Yeah,
and I don't remember if that was if that's happened in the Batman movie, or maybe
it could have.
He just always walked like that, and then this shows oh yeah, his feet's messed up.
Yeah, it could have, but I thought that was really interesting and gross,
gnarly. Yeah.
I did love him in the Apprentice, man. I really did. Their relationship is just two peas in a pod.
Yeah, it was also just it was kind of I don't know, fumbling around too, because you got this kid with you, and you know the first 20 minutes of the film, he's getting rid of a body with him, and a show, and you can tell he doesn't know if he's gonna kill the kid or not, or the kid's scared because he's any minute this guy's gonna try to kill me. And then he almost does, but then he doesn't. And yeah, they have a great apprenticeship.
Well, you know why? Because he doesn't have anybody.
Yeah,
doesn't have any friends, doesn't have anybody. Yeah. So this kid comes along and he's actually can treat him like a friend. I like them just sitting down eating burgers.
Yeah. Or at the end with the slushies.
Yeah. They finally mixed it.
Yeah.
He mixed the slushies. I thought that was cool.
If that holds through to the rest of the series, it'll be a good show.
Oh yeah.
It'll be a great show. There's a lot of speculation that Victor could be Victor Zsasz.
Heard about that.
Or like someone even suggested like Victor Freeze or something like that. I don't think they're going that direction. I think he's an original character, or he might be a different character from the comics. I don't think this will be like, this is Zaz's origin.
He just might be an original character.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's just going to be an original guy. But like people in comic book stuff, they always want to try to like connect the dots, and everything's got to be an Easter egg.
Which also just brings down the morale. Yeah. Sometimes when you got to, how come we just can't sit down and enjoy it? Yeah. Why do we have to connect the dots to everything?
Why is everything got to be a puzzle? Just watch it and enjoy it, and speculate on your own time. But everyone's got to make their content. Everyone's got their things to do, and
I get it.
It's either way. Great first episode. It could have been a movie. Honestly, it could have just been a Penguin movie.
But if you want to flush it out more, TV show route, way to go.
Yeah, it's just like, are we getting a season 2 of Penguin?
I don't know. Think so. I don't think so. But I know Matt Reeves was originally wanted to come out with a show called Gotham.
Yeah, Gotham PD.
And Gotham spun off into Penguin because, the other creator it was a person or a partner that he was supposed to team up with that wanted to do a Gotham, and it was like kind of already did that. Yeah, with the TV show on Fox. Yeah, which I did like. I did like Gotham.
I really liked Gotham as well. It had its up and downs. It's a bit of a roller coaster.
The last few seasons were rough.
They definitely take some liberties with some things, but overall, it's a well-made series.
Because Penguin in there was just as good.
Oh, he was completely psychotic too. He was so good at being evil.
Yeah, he was great.
A lot of people think the Penguin and the Riddler in that show were the highlights of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But just like their characters alone and like the personalities they brought to the show.
Mm-hmm. It was great.
Yeah.
So that's when they decided, you know what, Matt Reeves like, let's not do that. Let's just do Penguin. Because the Gotham show was only going to focus on the cops.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. We've already kind of seen that.
And
then it just evolved into focusing on the villains anyway. Yeah. That became the allure to the show. So yeah, I get that. I understand that. I know there's like talks or rumors of a potential like Clayface series set in this world. Where Clayface is like just like a master disguise kind of serial killer type.
Oh, you're talking about the one from Golden Age then.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of doing like the actual clay monster thing, it's like he just disguises himself. And,
well, if you watch like the Cape Crusader on Amazon Prime.
It's like a bit of a mix. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which he's freaky in that one. Have you watched Cape Crusader?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I finished it, yeah.
Amazing, man.
Oh, every episode of that was really show. Great. Yeah. But do you have anything else to say about the Penguin?
No, man. I can't wait for the next episode. I can't wait to review the next one.
I know. I'm upset it's a weekly show because I really, as soon as it was done, I was like, all right, on to the next. And then,
see, it's kind of hard to talk about it because I don't want to just go in full spoilers.
Yeah, you're right.
So I really can't wait to talk about it because I think by the next one, we're going to talk about some spoilers. Yeah. When we get to the second episode. Yeah. It's up to you if you want to talk about spoilers in the second episode.
I mean, we can. It doesn't matter to me, but it's just like, we had the one episode out. So it's worth a mention of how good the first episode is. Yeah. And so that kind of rolls me into our next email segment here, James.
Okay. You've got mail.
We got an email from Zach last week.
Oh, shocker.
Hey, man, Zach's loyal.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy.
We appreciate you, Zach.
We appreciate you.
So his email says, since the Penguin show just came out, what is your guys' favorite interpretation of Gotham City? Mine would be Matt Reeves' Gotham, Tim Burton's Gotham, and Christopher Nolan's first The Dark Knight Gotham. That's his 3 picks.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go with Matt Reeves' version, and I'm going to go with Kevin Conroy's the animated series version.
Oh, Kevin Conroy?
Yeah, Kevin Conroy. I'm sorry, Kevin Conroy version in the animated series. And I know this is Tim Burton's 1989 one.
Yeah, you like the Tim Burton one?
The 1989 one. That one, because that one was a lot better. Yeah. The 1992 was just, it's like Tim Burton just had an orgasm and just said, and he just spilled his whole load in Gotham. I didn't like that. I didn't like the architecture in the second one. I thought it was just a little bit too much play setish. Play set. It was very, 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 very play setish.
So you like the more grungy, like dungy look?
1989 Joker. That whole setting with Batman was the first of its kind. We never seen anything like it. That was a little bit better. Yeah.
And you know what? The architecture from the 1989 one is still a little cartoony in a way.
It is.
But The color palette.
The color palette, yeah.
Makes it less so. But I'm looking at some of the structures in these buildings and like how they're shaped.
Now look at the structure from 1992. And 1992 version, it looks very, very play set-ish. It like a kid's meal set. It looked like a play set from a theme park. I hated that one. I hated the aesthetic from that one. Which I understand. I get, the studios are probably like, hey, we made so much money with 1989 Batman. Let's bring him back, Tim Burton, and you can spill your whole load. You can go straight Tim Burton on this one. And that's what he did. He went full Tim Burton on that one. A little bit too much.
What's 1992 called?
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns. All right, let me look that up.
Yeah, he just went a little bit too far.
All right. Yeah, I can see some differences.
Yeah, I didn't like the setting in 1992.
So, okay, Batman 89, that's your choice?
Yeah, that's my choice. Those my three choices.
All right.
Kevin Conroy, Matt Reeves, and that one.
I wasn't going to full out like pick three like Zach did, but, good for you for putting in the effort. Kudos to you for going down the list.
Just pick your city,
man. I was just gonna say the Capes Crusader Gotham. I think.
Oh, from the newest episode.
Yeah, from the newest show. I think I really like the Cape Crusader and the setting that they made. I really like that weird 40s and 50s like nowhere aesthetic. I mean, similar to the animated series.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
but it's cranked up a couple notches from the animated series, and it was also like set in that time period. It's not in modern day, but it looks old. I think it's pretty much like in the 40s and 50s. That's what it looked like.
Because in the animated series, you never really, in the original from 1992, you never really knew which period it took place in.
Yeah, you're right. It was very ambiguous.
Yeah, it was very ambiguous. You had guys wearing fedoras and hats. Fedora hats. Well, duh. They were wearing fedoras and those trench coat jackets.
Yeah.
So, and the cars were definitely different. So it kind of had like a World of Tomorrow type deal with it, the vehicles.
Yeah.
And just the architecture and that. And I like how the sky was red and the moon was shining in the back. Like, I loved how that looked.
Yeah.
No honorable mentions for Joel Schumacher.
No, I didn't even consider him. You're talking about 1992 being out of the...
I'm kidding. Yeah, no, those are absolutely terrible.
Yeah, let's look at the Joel Schumacher guy.
Oh, man. I was just kidding. Joel Schumacher.
Look at this.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, you want to talk about cartoony.
Yeah, man. It was out of there.
Like, even the colors, everything was a cartoon in this movie.
God bless him, man. Rest in peace, Joel Schumacher.
With adult Robin.
Yeah.
Who was in a Nightwing suit.
Yeah. That's all we had back then,
He had that weird interpretation of Bane.
Oh, bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The costume didn't look bad, but like...
Oh, the costumes. I thought the costumes
the characterization was just weird.
Yeah.
See,
I felt like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin were like Tim Burton, but on steroids.
Yeah.
Because they kind of kept his same architecture style.
Yeah.
But it just looked way too wacky.
You're right. Because Joel Schumacher was like, I see what you're doing, and then cranked it up to 11.
He cranked it up to another notch.
He was like, I get what you're I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let me do something really quick here.
So what was the worst? Well, other than Schumacher, did you like the Dark Knight ones?
I mean, yeah, but Dark Knight ones is just
I feel like they were just cities to me.
That's kind of what I feel about the Matt Reeves Gotham. It's
really?
just a city. Yeah.
I don't know about.
I've only seen the Batman once.
Whoa.
So maybe I need to go.
What?
It's a 3-hour film, James.
Damn.
You know me and my long movies.
That's crazy, man.
That was a long movie in the theater.
I hear you.
I mean, maybe I'll go and I'll speed through it and just get a look at the Gotham in that movie because it has been a while.
It's great, man. It's great.
I'm sure it is. It made a lot of money. A lot of people are really like enjoying it.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, I'm getting a glimpse of it in the Penguin show, right? So like, there's not much difference from the Penguin.
It's not much difference, but it's just starting to show you a little bit more outside of Gotham.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like you saw like where Penguin's mom stayed and how the houses look there. So you're starting to see a little bit more.
Yeah. Thank you again for the email, Zach. We're going to move away from Zach's email. He also mentioned in his email, he said, forgot to say this on my last email, but congrats on 100 episodes and to many more. So,
thank you, Zach.
We appreciate that. We're going to keep trudging along as long as we can. We are not going to stop.
Nope.
So, and I got another email recently, James, from another listener, a new listener.
A new one?
Yes, a new listener.
Oh, boy.
He is a creepypasta writer named Shaynor Ula. I think that's how you pronounce his name correctly. I hope I got that right. But he's a creepypasta guy, and he actually sent us some Reddit stories that he had asked us to narrate and review, brutally, honestly review.
Okay.
So we're not going to do that in this episode because I haven't prepared the narrations. I'm working on getting those prepared.
All right.
But as soon as I do, James, I'm gonna play them on the show for you, and we'll do like a little review segment on some of these stories. They're not long stories; they're like 4 to 5 paragraphs.
Kind of like what we did for last Halloween.
Yeah, a little bit, essentially, but more like someone actually sent this to us. So,
right.
So we're gonna oblige, and we're gonna do this, and thank you, Shanor, for your email. And,
yes, thank you very much.
Please keep listening, and I mean, especially for these reviews coming up here in the next couple episodes. So. Just wanted to throw that out there before we move on.
On the Gold Podcast
with Jacob and James.
It's freaking rad, brother.
Rad.
So James, we're going to move on to our next segment here, and I have a question for you. How do you feel about people naming their children after pop culture properties like Star Wars or Hunger Games or Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, like, anything that's been big and famous over the past like 10 years or so?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I do think it's kind of cultish a little bit.
Yeah.
A little fame-driven, fame-hungry.
Yeah.
Celebrity hungry. I mean, some of the names are cool.
Well, I mean, you're not naming them off of celebrities. Like, you're naming
you're
them off
naming off the characters. So it's not that bad.
Right. Like, there's a lot of...
like
there's a lot of Katnisses roaming around now.
And there's nothing really original out there anyway, because I remember when I first had my son, me and my ex looked up so many names, and it wasn't really any great names out there.
Yeah. Well, that's why a lot of new names nowadays have like a bunch of extra syllables and stuff.
You have to be creative.
Like you got like Braxlin and Braxton.
Well, I'm not gonna go there.
Like to put X's in names. Like
I ain't gonna go that far.
Rifle Lynn.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you look at some of the names from back in the day, like every name changes from 1950s to the 60s, 70s.
That is true. There's a trend.
Yeah, like my mom's name was Barbara Ann.
Yeah, you don't see many of them.
No.
You don't see a lot of Lorettas. You don't see a lot like there's old names that are still kind of floating around there, but you don't see young people name that.
Jacob is an old name.
Jacob is an old name.
Yep.
You don't see any little kids named Bob.
Nope.
There's no little boy. There's no little Bobs around.
When I think about Bob, I just think somebody fat and bald. Like that's easily what you think about.
Yeah. Or what is it? There was a comedian whose name was like Kyle or something, and he made the comment. He's like, you don't see any old Kyles.
You don't.
He's like, I'm reaching middle age. I'm reaching expiration date. You don't see any elderly Kyles around.
When I think about Jacob, I think about somebody young.
Yeah.
That's easy what I think about. Somebody young and white.
Okay.
That wears a collar shirt. I'm not. Okay. I'm not describing the description of you. I'm just saying, like you have a collar shirt on right now, and that's what I think about.
Feels very targeted.
No, I promise it's not.
All right, but anyway, I set all that up to say this. There was a 7-year-old boy denied a passport his family was going on a vacation, and I believe they were at the airport. But the airport denied his passport because of his name. He shared his name with a Star Wars character.
Stupid.
And the story says, a Star Wars loving military family's vacation hit a snag because their son was denied a passport as officials ruled that his peculiar name was too out of this world. British soldier Christian Mowbray's son was born on May 4th, 2017, informally known as Star Wars Day. So he and his wife Becky fittingly named him after one of the most famous families in the cinema history and an homage to the hit franchise. Loki Skywalker Mowbray.
Why?
And his family face passport problems.
Because
think? His middle name is copyrighted by Disney.
Jeez, man.
Thus, Loki Skywalker Mowbray came to be, and for the first 7 years of his life, there was no huge problem with his name.
It just sounds so made up.
It's not.
I mean, well, I know it's not, but I'm like, it sounds very made up.
It says the family of 5 plan to go on a vacation to the Dominican Republic in October. Yeah, in October. The trip was supposed to be a joyous one because it would It would be the first getaway the family would have had since 2014 due to the strict work schedule of young Skywalker's parents. Jeez, obviously, the dad's in the British military, so he was like serving off and on over the years.
That's unfortunate. That's stupid.
Well, with it being their first international trip before their son's birth, they needed new passports. The Home Office, in charge of the nation's immigration, security, and law and order, denied the youngster's passport, claiming it couldn't print Skywalker because of Disney's copyright on the name. So it's not because of the name. I mean, it's because of the name, but it's not because like they were like, oh, that's a fake name, whatever. It's because Disney owns the copyright to it. So the department told the family it either had to change their son's name or get permission from Disney to use Skywalker.
Oh, my goodness.
That's wild.
That is stupid. This whole story is stupid. The child's name is ridiculous. The fact that you can't go on vacation because of a copyrighted name because of Disney. Shocker.
Right?
Like, because of all that, this whole story is... I wish I would have never discovered this story.
Well, apparently there was a similar situation where another UK family had named their daughter after a Game of Thrones character. And basically they said the same thing. They were like, hey, you're going to have to get Warner Brothers permission for your 6-year-old daughter, Khaleesi, to get a passport.
So what if you name your child Warner Brothers?
You got to ask Warner Brothers, I guess.
Warner Brothers, can I use your logo? Can I use your name, Warner Brothers?
You got to pay for that licensing fee, James. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, man.
You love Warner Brothers so much.
What if I name my child Disney? Walt Disney.
I think that's just identity theft, honestly. I don't think there's really... I don't think you can legally do that, per se. Walt Disney was a person who existed.
Walt Disney Jackson. Walt Disney Jackson. Yep.
I don't know. I don't think that would fly over. But, it's kind of similar to that story of... I think there was like a kid who died, and his family put a tombstone on his grave, and it had like Spider-Man on it, because he was a big Spider-Man fan.
That's dope.
And then Disney came out, and they were like, hey, we own the copyright to that. You got to take your tombstone down. Otherwise, we got to charge you a fee or whatever.
Oh, man.
That was from a while back.
I don't want to turn this into anti-Disney commentary.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's similar.
I know. I get it. I get it.
And then someone suggested, like, you should just call it a bluff because...
Yeah, I would just call it a bluff. I would, too.
Are you really going to tear down a tombstone, Disney?
Most likely you're not.
Yeah. So, that was that little fun story. And I had that for the week. And then you told me another story before we started recording here that the Movie Pass guy is getting sentenced soon. Yeah, man. I had vividly heard about it. Don't ask me the whole story, so we got to dig this up because I don't know the full story on this. But I saw a couple streaming YouTube platforms talk about the Movie Pass guy, and he's finally getting sentenced for his crimes. Yeah. So you told me that, and I looked it up. It says, former MoviePass CEO Mitch Lowe pleads guilty to securities fraud conspiracy.
Yep, as he should.
Yeah, and there was that whole documentary that we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about that
not a long time ago. And he faked a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, man.
It was so unreal because it was like $10 a month, and you get to see all the movies all day. And it's like, well, who's paying for this? Where's this money actually coming from?
Remember you asked that. You was like, who's paying for all this?
Yeah. And so it says... Lowe faces a maximum of 5 years in federal prison. Wow, 5 years.
Man, I mean,
he's going away for a life.
That's pretty much the max.
You know what I mean?
I think that's probably like the max you can get.
That is true.
Something like that.
But
this ain't like Diddy time.
He's also 72, so
Oh, okay. Well, he'll be dead by within those 5 years anyway.
Yeah, 5 years is life, right?
Yeah.
So it says under his plea agreement made public on Monday, Lowe agreed to cooperate with prosecutors and regulators, which could result in a reduced sentence. Mitch is a good man who is looking to move forward with his life, says his attorneys. He has accepted responsibility for his actions in this case and will continue to try to make things right. Well,
here you go, Jacob. He's going to make things right. Probably with God, but yes. Probably with Joseph. Joseph at the gates.
With somebody. And it turns out another guy, Ted Farnsworth, is scheduled to face a trial on the same charges coming in March.
The hell he did. Was he part of Movie Pass too?
Yeah, he was a CEO of the parent company.
Oh, okay.
So he's also facing charges.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And so yeah, well, I guess they'll get their just desserts. I mean,
just desserts.
Yeah.
God, I haven't heard that in years.
I mean, they didn't steal from the customers though, But no, they were selling the information, weren't they? That's how they were making the money. That's right. They were selling customers data and information. And that's where the issue comes in. They were also having like financial issues on top of still making all this money because they were spending it as much as they were making it. They were having like all these parties and stuff. It's coming back to me. So, well, good for you, MoviePass guy. I hope you get your just desserts, and I hope you have a long 5 years to think about what you did.
Yeah, get your just desserts.
Yeah. Maybe invest in pirating and not.
I mean, that's a crime too, Jacob.
It's a crime too.
Yeah, you see this all the time.
Pirating doesn't hurt the people; it just hurts the corporations.
Okay, sure.
No, I don't endorse pirating.
I don't endorse it either. FBI, man, you see it every time. Every time you see a video, well, I don't think they have that anymore.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't steal your neighbors, whatever. You wouldn't do.
Yeah, I remember those. They played on DVDs too.
Yeah,
they just had it
which
on
is
DVDs.
Kind of ironic because that's what they were trying to stop. But no, I don't endorse pirating. Actually, I'm very much against pirating because the industry I'm in, you know, stealing art from people is not a good thing.
I mean, I get if you don't have the money to watch something, but just wait.
Yeah, just wait.
Let's just wait.
Yeah, get Tubi.
Yeah.
Get Tubi. It's free.
They got the same
it'll
movies.
eventually. Yeah, it'll be on there eventually.
And they got the same movies that you watch.
They do.
It's just lower quality.
Yeah. You want to see 52 movies from the 1950s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to Tubi.
Go to Tubi.
You'll see all the 1950s movies you got. And you'll see some modern day ones. On the go. We're getting arrested with Jacob and James. All right, James. Well, heading into pop culture news, we got a teaser poster and actual teaser release for Thunderbolts this week.
Which was not a teaser, but yeah.
You are correct, and we'll talk about the teaser later in our trailer park segment, but the poster is getting a big stir right now because... Did you see?
No.
You see?
I saw the poster, but I'm just like, what are fans?
Okay, first of all, what do you think of the poster?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah?
I like it.
A lot of people did.
I like it a lot.
A lot of people were like, hey, this is a good poster. It's not floating heads. Like, everybody's in there.
It was too woke. What are we looking at?
No, apparently, so Bob, a.k.a. the Sentry.
Yep.
If you look at his hands, it looks like there's 6 digits. And people
never noticed that.
I didn't notice it either, but people had picked it out, and it became like a big news headline for like a day until someone enhanced the photo and determined that it's not 6 digits. If you outline where his fingers are going, it's just the one finger is overlapping his other finger, and it looks like it's 6, but it's 5.
Gotcha.
So that's the big controversy.
The fact that people saw that and took time to notice it is
right?
Scary to me. That is scary.
Right? I wouldn't have noticed it. Well, because like, you know, it happened, and then people, I guess somebody had saw it, and then jumped on it being like, oh, AI. They use AI. You know what I mean? The AI argument.
Yeah.
Because that's where we are. That's where we're at now. Is if it looks weird, it's AI. If it looks bad, it's AI. If it's too good, it's AI. It's everything's AI until it's not.
I did like the design of Ghost and Taskmaster's uniforms. I like those.
I like Taskmaster's uniform. It's more streamlined. Mm-hmm. It's not bulky like in Black Widow.
It's form fitting. The mask is a little bit more reminiscent of what Taskmaster wears. Also reminiscent of your boy from Ninja Turtles,
Casey Jones.
Casey,
yeah. Actually, Ghost's costume, I didn't really care for.
You didn't?
No. You know, I saw a clip of her costume from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and Wasp, yeah.
And I think I like that costume more than I like this one.
I like the color of it.
In the last one?
Yeah, no, in the last one, yeah.
Right, cool, because that's what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to be like all white. And then they just gave her like a white helmet and a black suit. Mm-hmm. But she looks too similar to Taskmaster. Like they're too hard to tell apart. I will
admit that. It does.
Yeah. That's why I don't like it. It's like they're just too hard to tell apart.
But one has no eye holes.
Yeah.
It's just a clear mask.
Yeah. But the other one is just a white mask.
Just a white mask.
Some eye holes. But there's
Casey Jones.
It's still white face, black costume.
Yeah, see, that's going to catch on. Someone's going to say the same thing, too. She looked like Casey Jones.
I'm sure. If they haven't already said it, they will say it eventually. But yeah, so Thunderbolts, we got a poster, and we're going to talk about the real trailer later. The bigger news from last week that we kind of sort of missed out on what we're going to cover this week is the 28 years later news that they're shooting 28 years later on iPhone 15s.
Yep.
They're adapted iPhone 15s. And James, I don't know if you saw the photo of what the iPhone 15 looks like on set.
I saw it.
You saw it with like all the adaptions, like it's connected to all these like super big lenses and stuff. Because the news story is just like, oh, they're shooting it on iPhone 15.
People thought they just holding up a cell phone, just shooting it. Yeah.
And then you look up the like what it's set up to be, and you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense.
A lot more advanced than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. I mean, you saw the first one before. The first one looked like it was shot kind of like on a video cassette.
Yeah.
Well, not a video cassette. What's those video cameras? The first one.
A VHS?
VHS.
Like like a VHS recorder?
Yeah, VHS recorder.
Yeah.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, no, I have a problem with it. It looks good, though.
No, I mean, it's interesting that they're doing it this way. And it's keeping the budget down, which I think is their main goal.
You always got to keep the budget down.
Yeah, they wanted to try to keep it down because I think it keeps it under like 75 million or 1,000 or something like that.
I don't think you need a big budget for this movie.
No, it's a zombie flick.
Cillian Murphy doesn't probably command that most money, I don't think.
Is he in the movie again?
I think I heard he's coming back.
Was he in the sequel?
What you mean, the second one?
Yeah.
I never saw the second one. I only saw the first one.
You know, to be honest, it's been years since I've seen him.
I know they made the second one. I always thought they made only the first one.
28 days and 28 weeks.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like Cillian Murphy's first-ish film, or his breakout,
kinda.
or at least his breakout role.
True.
Maybe not his first movie, but definitely. You know, Amy Harris was in it.
Yep, she sure was. All right.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy is not in the second one, but Jeremy Renner is.
Oh, really? I didn't
Idris
know that.
Elba is.
Well, I definitely know Idris Elba wouldn't command that most money like that back then.
No, not back then. Because that was before he was like famous. Yeah, it looks like he's coming back for 28 years.
Yeah.
Interesting. Ralph Fiennes, Lord Voldemort himself.
Oh, that's my guy.
Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to be in this film?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he must be like military, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Not a lot known about this movie yet, except that its budget is $75 million, and they're shooting it on iPhones.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So that led me to look up how many other films have been shot on phones, because it's not a new concept. It's not 28 years later did not invent shooting films on iPhones, right?
Of course not. There's always you're never the first.
Yeah. So I went to Wikipedia because you can always trust Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And I looked up films shot on iPhones, and none of these films are big films. Let's start there. So I'm probably not gonna say anything that you're gonna recognize right away. So we're not really gonna focus on the movie part.
Okay. Well.
I'll just go down the list and I'll tell you what phone they used. All right. So at the top, 28 years later, iPhone 15 Pro Max. Before that was a movie called Banger from the Czech Republic in 2022 on iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Never heard of it.
I told you. In 2022 as well, Canada put out a movie called Very Nice Day with a Google Pixel 2.
Definitely never heard of that.
And for context, it is 2024, and they just came out with a Google Pixel 9. So even in 2022, a Google Pixel 2 is still an old phone.
That's very old.
Yeah. In India, they had a movie called Pondicherry. Pondicherry or Pondicherry. And that was shot in 2022 as well on an iPhone X. Taiwan did a movie in 2020 called I, Weirdo on an iPhone XS Max.
That sounds like something that your boy would make. What's your guy name? Is it the guy, your favorite?
Kevin Smith?
Yep.
With the movie title or the
movie title?
I, Weirdo? Probably. There was a movie called Ghost that came out in the United Kingdom.
Patrick Swayze?
No.
Oh.
In 2020. Wouldn't that be funny? Be like, yeah, Ghost in 1980 something was shot on a Nokia.
Hey, man, you never know.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
But no, Ghost in United Kingdom 2020 on an iPhone 8.
Oh, okay.
There was a movie called Midnight Traveler from the United States, Qatar, Canada, and United Kingdom 2019. It was a documentary, and they used 3 different Samsung phones.
Oh, okay.
There was a movie called High Flying Bird from the United States, 2019, iPhone 8. Another movie called Unsane, which I think I've heard of that one. Unsane.
It's an indie movie, probably.
Yeah, it looks pretty indie. It's about a stalker.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. But yeah, that was, what was it, 2018 on iPhone 7 Plus. And then before that, there was a movie called Sleep Has Her House from the United Kingdom in 2017 on an iPhone 6.
Oh.
Yeah. So it seems like iPhones have been used pretty regularly for filming things.
I wouldn't know. I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know how they shoot.
I don't have an iPhone either.
Yeah, you have Samsung, right?
Yeah, now I have a Motorola.
Oh, you back to Motorola?
Yeah, I'm on a Razr.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a level up, but it's a flip phone and it's cool. I like it.
Hey man, I don't have to watch it. I don't have to use it, so that's all that matters. I didn't know Motorola was still in business.
Yeah, they came back.
Okay.
So they made a Razr, and I wanted one. So anyway, there was a movie called 9 Rides from the United States in 2015 on an iPhone 6s. There was a movie called Tangerine in 2015 from the US that was on an iPhone 5s. And Tangerine sounds familiar as well. American comedy.
It's good fruit.
It is. Directed by Sean Baker. Set on Christmas Eve. The story follows a transgender sex worker who discovers her boyfriend and pimp has been cheating on her.
Hey, you feel like that need to be shot on the iPhone?
Well, I feel like I've heard of this movie.
What, the pimp story?
Yeah, the pimp story.
Oh, okay.
You know, I watch all kinds of things, James.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I guarantee you never watched that pimp story.
No, I haven't. Okay, there was 60 ml, The Last Order in India, 2014. Nokia Lumia.
Oh, okay. I know for damn sure they not in business no more.
Nokia's around.
Okay.
Nokia puts out phones, James.
Okay, Jacob. All because you tell me like DVDs exist, James, and all of those stuff. That does not mean that they're selling. No one's buying Nokia phones. Like, this is the first I'm hearing today that Motorola was still in business.
Hang on. No, there's a Reddit forum that says Nokia smartphones are just bad.
They're bad, man.
Let me explain. Okay, well, moving on. Yeah, so we had a movie called To Jennifer, 2013, iPhone 5 US. Hooked Up in Spain, 2013, iPhone 4S.
Hooked Up in Spain.
You know, when I first looked at this list, it didn't look like there was a lot. But as I'm reading them...
I don't think you have to read every last one.
Well, it looked small before I started reading it. I was like, I can read through these just fine. No, this is actually a lot more than I originally saw.
I don't think you got to read through all of them. Like, for God's sakes, I mean, you did say this show is going to be like between 45 minutes to an hour.
Well, at any rate, movies have been done on phones before.
Yeah.
It actually looks like the first one might have been in Italy in 2005 on a Nokia N90.
Okay.
So that's possibly the first cell phone movie. I just found it interesting. You know, it sparked my curiosity on like, well, okay, 28 years later is doing it. How many other films are doing it? How many other films have done it? Like, because, you know, some directors say, like, hey, if you want to start a movie or if you want to film a movie, use your phone. Use your phone. You got cameras in your pockets. Friend of the show, Richard, he films stuff on his phone all the time. That's how we made some of those short films.
He also make fart noises on his cell phone as well.
Okay, well, sorry, Richard. I guess James doesn't like the fart noises you make on your phone.
Yeah.
Just airing out your grievances. But yeah, I mean, he's done stuff on his phone. A lot of people do stuff on their phone. I think we know another director type person who shoots on his phone. It's possible and it's doable. And really, this just shows the young filmmakers that, like, hey, you can do it. And also, try not to think about that picture of the iPhone 15 connected to a bunch of adapters and lenses.
Because we all thought, like I say, you know.
You don't need all that to make a movie. If you want to make a movie, just start shooting stuff. Learn how to edit properly. That's all.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's all it takes. On the go. Or in the shower. With Jacob and James. We talked about it before. Thunderbolts. The official teaser came out. Not just the leak.
The leak that we got at the Comic-Con?
Yeah, that was all fuzzy. Even though, I mean, most of the footage was the same.
Pretty much, yeah. I think the Pixies playing in the background.
Yeah, and the setup to the trailer. I think they added some new shots and a couple other things.
I never saw it.
The leak?
Yeah, I never saw it fully because I was like, I can't.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
That's fine. So after seeing the official teaser trailer or whatever you want to call this, what are your opinions?
It looks pretty good. Like they're going for with Captain America and now Thunderbolts. You can definitely tell what type of tone they're going through.
Yeah.
With these ones, like,
well, someone had made the comment that
it's more serious.
Well, they made the comment that like Captain America and Thunderbolts almost looks like it could be, you know, a part 1 to a part 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Captain America comes out in February. So they were suggesting, what if Captain America ends off at a semi cliffhanger and then Thunderbolts kind of picks up the story?
I could see that
because, you know, Captain America has to do with, first of all, the Tiamat Celestial, and then Thunderbolts has to do with like Sentry, and those are two pretty big storylines to do back to back alone. Right, so it's like maybe there's a connection somewhere. Also, Red Hulk has a big connection to the Thunderbolts.
He does. Dark Avengers.
Yeah, Dark Avengers and stuff like that. So there's speculation that maybe it's like a part 1 to a part 2 in a way, like a unofficial sequel of sorts.
If they even go that far, I don't even know if they'll go that far or not.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And I mean, what do you think about the story they're setting up here?
I like the story. It's very Suicide Squad-ish.
Very.
You know who I just have not been able to wrap my arms around? If we've seen her sprinkled throughout the Marvel Universe, Julia Dreyfus is like, I cannot wrap my arms around her.
Well, it's just because like you're very correct. She's been sprinkled.
Yeah.
They're trying to use her as like a pseudo Nick Fury type. That's the whole premise behind her setting up the Thunderbolts.
Amanda Waller.
Or an Amanda Waller of sorts. But the thing is, like, we haven't seen enough of her to really get the effect.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been speculation that in this movie, she's turning against the Thunderbolts.
I could see that.
It could have been. Someone suggested that maybe it's she contracted each of the Thunderbolts to kill each other because she used them for whatever she needed them for, and that was her confronting them in the tower. I don't know if that's what's happening.
I mean, it could be. You just don't know how dangerous she is. Like, what danger is she to these?
Yeah, because it's, I don't know, she's like a pseudo villain. Like, wasn't she in Black Panther 2?
She was in Black Panther, just squeezed in there.
Yeah, they squeezed her in there.
You can tell that was all Marvel.
She was in a post credit scene for Black Widow.
Yep.
Where did we first see her?
I think it wasn't
Falcon and Winter Soldier, because U.S. Agent.
Soldier, yeah.
That's when they first introduced her. But again, you have these puzzle pieces of like, okay, if you didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, you might recognize her from the Black Widow show. But if you didn't stay for the end credits of the Black Widow movie show, if you didn't stay for the end credits of the Black Widow movie, you don't see her again until Black Panther 2.
Yep.
And then in Black Panther 2, she's
sprinkled in there.
She's just an ex-wife.
Had no business being in there.
Yeah. But I mean, she's up to like some shady stuff, and she gets Martin Freeman arrested.
I guarantee you, Ryan. I know Ryan Coogler had nothing to do with that. That was all Marvel.
Yeah,
you can just tell he had nothing. He's like, okay, just put her in here. Fine.
Yeah, like, oh, I'll do it for you, I guess.
I hated her scenes in that movie.
Yeah, it's
just random.
Yeah, I mean, she's a random character, and there hasn't been a lot of setup. This would have been a cool, like, anti-Avengers movie. Because that's kind of what the Thunderbolts are, right? They're the anti-Avengers, essentially.
Suicide Squad.
They're the Suicide Squad of the Marvel Universe in some ways. But this would have been cool with like maybe a little bit of a better setup. Because we're getting Ghost in this movie, but we haven't seen her since Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Nope.
We're getting Taskmaster back, which we haven't seen her since Black Widow. That's fairly recent, so it makes sense that she would stay a mercenary because that's all she knows. Like I didn't think she would automatically become a good guy after she got unbrainwashed, or I don't even think she was unbrainwashed entirely. She still has a lot going on. Young Black Widow, Yelena. I don't think she even goes by a Black Widow code name yet.
No.
Or maybe I guess she did in Black Widow, but now she doesn't or whatever. I don't really know the stipulations. But I mean, we've seen her a handful of times. She's the most recognizable one.
Yeah, her and David Harbour.
David Harbour, yeah, and then U.S. Agent.
Yeah, and then Steve, and then you got Bucky, of course.
Bucky comes back, and we don't know if he's on their side or if he's against them. Someone suggests he's a congressman. Did he become a congressman in Falcon and Winter Soldier?
No, he was too busy trying to flirt with Anthony Mackie's daughter. Anthony Mackie's sister.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone suggested he was a congressman. I was like, I didn't pick up that at all in this trailer. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from.
I need them to be consistent about his hair.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the short hair, long hair, short hair, long hair.
I like the long hair.
Yeah, well, it's very comic book. It's classic Winter Soldier. But it's just I just need them to pick a haircut.
Yeah. You don't like the cut that he had in Winter Soldier?
No, I don't like the coconut head thing he's got going on in this movie.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't like. Yeah, you notice that too, huh?
Yeah,
he's coming from the shadows. I'm like, what the hell's up with his hair?
Yeah, I don't like it. Just pick a hairstyle, pick personality.
Let's pick a struggle,
for Winter
man.
Soldier.
He does suffer from what you call that? Anger management.
Yeah,
like it seems like he has anger problems or something.
Yeah,
sometimes he's angry, sometimes he's not.
Yeah, it's really weird. But it does look good.
Yeah, it does
look enjoyable.
It looks fine.
I wish the setup for it would have been better, but maybe it doesn't need it. Maybe it doesn't need it.
And it wasn't a teaser; it was a trailer.
It was a full trailer. We saw a lot in this film. We don't see what Sentry looks like.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of backstory with Sentry. Apparently, he's like the villain and the hero at the same time. He's like two things in the same body. So we'll see where that comes up. We'll see how this fits into the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Brave and the Bold? Brave New World. I'm sorry.
Brave New World.
Yes. We'll see how that fits up. But we got an official trailer, so there you go. We covered it. Next trailer we're going to talk about, James, and you brought this to the table, is...
Sinners.
Yes.
Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler, the director.
Yeah.
Vampire Hunters. Vampire Twin Brothers. Vampire Hunter Twin Brothers. And it looks like it takes place in 1930s, maybe. 1930s. And when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, man, I hope it's not some depressing slavery type movie. But then I was like, oh, okay. The trailer, the teaser, now this is a teaser. It doesn't give you anything.
Right.
It doesn't give you a little bit of nothing to eat off on. Right. Not even a morsel. But it still is a nice looking trailer. It's a nice, fine, shot looking trailer.
I'm watching it right now as you're talking about it.
Michael B. Jordan looks nice and buff as usual. He looks buff as hell in this movie.
He does.
Haley Steinfeld is in here. No one knows who she's playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Could be a racist vampire or it could be an agent. Who knows? All we saw at the end was a whole bunch of black people teaming up together with stakes in their hands. Mm-hmm. So they could be battling vampires. What type of vampires? We don't know. But we do know it's a vampire hunter movie. And
interesting.
Like I said, a lot of studios had to fight for the rights for this film because they wanted this film so badly.
Yeah.
Paramount wanted it. Universal wanted it.
And it was kind of like a secret project for a while, right?
It was a secret project, yeah. And a lot of studios wanted to really fight for the rights for it, and Warner Brothers won out. And it's like a $90 million budget. And it's shot with IMAX cameras.
Nice.
So,
I'm kind of surprised like Warner Brothers did want it so bad. Because, what's been going on with them lately?
Like I said, Ryan Coogler, he's really, really behind this project. Like, talking about marketing-wise. Like, he wants to sell toys for it and everything.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah, I'm like, huh. So when you see the trailer, you don't really get a vibe of a $90 million action movie. Of worth of merchandise.
It looks
merchandising.
Yeah, it looks like a thriller.
Yeah,
kind of looks almost like a slow burn type of film. Mm-hmm. Or the trailer is like a bit of a slow burn.
Well, it reminds me of Lovecraft Country.
Yeah,
Lovecraft Country was pretty much the same type of style. Yeah. So it's just I'm cautiously optimistic, but it's Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler doesn't put out trash.
Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't make a crap load of movies all the time, but when he does, it's pretty much a hit.
Yeah.
So
March 7th.
Yep, March 7th.
I mean, hey, it looks cool. I've heard a lot about it. And Michael B. Jordan's good. Like you said, Ryan Coogler's a great director.
When they team up, man, this is good.
Yeah, I mean, Creed, Black Panther, they work together.
Yep.
So I didn't even see Haley Steinfeld in that trailer.
She was in there for like a brief second. You have to really catch it.
Yeah, it's for a hot second. I guess she was in there, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're very much right. It's straight up a tease.
Mm-hmm. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You have some people say, well, yeah, that didn't show me anything. It's a teaser. That's what you want from a teaser.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you want a tease.
It's supposed to be a tease.
Who's out there complaining about that? Like,
there are people that complain. There are people that complaining about that. It's like, you're supposed to get teased first, and then you get a full trailer, and then you get a second trailer.
Yeah.
And then you get a third one.
And normally you really should stop watching the trailers after the first one.
After the full one.
Yeah, after the first one, because in the second and third, it's just showing you.
They're showing you a whole bunch of stuff.
And then you get all the trailers after the movie comes out that just full on spoil stuff, like Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, they figure they say, if you ain't saw it by now, that's on you.
Yeah, but like a week after it came out, they were like, bam, Gambit, Blade.
Yeah.
It's like, you saw everybody.
If you ain't saw it by now, that's you.
I'm trying to hold out. Thanks.
Hey, I kind of blame on that one. I was like, hey, you ain't saw it by now, that's on you.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of hard. I mean, movies are so in and out of the theaters so fast anyway.
So you kind of have to catch it.
Yeah. Like, what is it? I saw something that was saying that Hellboy is going to be like on streaming in 2 weeks.
But the Crooked Man?
Yeah.
Damn. So when does it come out?
Is it not already out?
No.
Oh, maybe it comes out this weekend.
Nah, they haven't said anything about that. No trailer, nothing that's been released for that.
I mean, I barely knew that the Transformers movie was out. Yeah, September 27th. So it comes out this weekend, and there's already articles talking about, hey, it's coming. Yeah, from Bloody Disgusting 7 hours ago. Hellboy Crooked Man gets a straight-to-digital release in October. Movie hasn't even hit theaters yet.
Like I say, they didn't know they didn't do any promoting for this. Because we know the other movie comes out. What's the name of that movie? We talked about the trailer. About the city.
Megalopolis.
That comes out. And Wild Robots comes out.
Yeah.
Those were the main two movies everybody been talking about all week.
But there's been little promotion for Megalopolis as well. I think the biggest promotion for that movie have been like the news stories that came out about it.
Yeah.
The subtle controversies. Wild Robot, I've seen Wild Robot quite a bit. I've seen a lot of advertising for that one. So, and that leads to a conversation we're going to have another day where like movie companies and movie franchises need to figure out how to better advertise and market their films.
Yeah, I seen no marketing for Hellboy.
Yeah.
Like I hope that we get it. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, the creator of the Hellboy comics like fully endorses his film, and it's gonna be sad when it comes out and nobody sees it because y'all didn't market this properly.
They did not market this movie at all.
I mean, they're already advertising like, hey, two or 3 weeks it's gonna be on home, so why go to the theater? That's a shame. It's a real shame.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Also, too, I just think that they kind of digged themselves a hole when they kept redoing it over and over and over again.
That is true, and part of it is just because people really love the Guillermo del Toro version.
True.
However, Guillermo del Toro's version is very little like the comics.
Very little like the comics.
And so when they did Hellboy, they tried to make it more like the comics. And then when they did this one, they especially tried to make it more like the comics. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of sad that people, don't want to give it a chance because, we love the originals and they keep making this movie. But, this is a more faithful adaptation. But
yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, that is true. But like again, that's a conversation for another day. We're gonna move on to Mickey 17.
Oh yeah, I seen the trailer for that one. That was really good.
This came out last week, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it because we were experimenting with some remote recording, so we weren't trying to be like a long episode. But I did watch this trailer, and I like the vibe of this trailer. It's like a dark comedy.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
He's the reason it's called Mickey 17 is because he's a clone, and he's like part of this experimental program where they clone him and they kill him and they clone him and they kill him. And I guess at some point, like one clones exist at the same time as another clone, and that's like against some sort of rule they have. Mm-hmm. So then everything goes haywire and they're trying to kill him. But it seems like there's a lot of him eventually in this trailer because there's like a room full of Robert Pattinsons.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah,
well, Joel said it reminds him of the Moon movie. Have you ever seen the Moon?
No.
Came out in like 2008, 2007 or so, and it's about a guy who's living on the moon. He's working for NASA or whatever. And he's there for a contract, and he's got to do experiments or whatever. But he's like 3 days away from going home, and all of a sudden, like all this weird stuff kind of starts happening. Eventually, he finds out that he is a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's the big twist. Is like the guy signed up for this program, and essentially they clone him, and he dies, and then they bring in another clone for another 3 days. Like they only have like 3 day lifespans or something, very short lifespans. But for whatever they're there for, it keeps the operations going, and so that's the big twist of that movie. So Joel said it kind of reminded him of that, but obviously this is a more comical version.
Yeah,
and the guy knows he's a clone, so. But yeah, they're talking about like Mickey 17, Mickey 11, Mickey 8, and then it's interesting. I'm interested in seeing it.
Me too.
And this is the same guy who did the Parasite movie.
Yep.
Right? So this is a total different...
Ben Jong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bong Joon. Yeah. So this is a total different vibe. Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
Total different vibe, total different...
I was kind of shocked when I saw the trailer, I ain't gonna lie with you. I was like, whoa, okay, it's the same guy that did the...
Well, that Parasite movie, he got like awards and stuff for it.
Yeah, he got Oscars and everything for
it. Mm-hmm. It was a huge thing when that came out. I remember we showed that several times, like a lot. And they brought it back for the Oscar films, the Oscar season. They brought those movies back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a huge movie. He's a huge director. He's got a big name behind him, so I'm sure it's going to do fine. Oh, Robert Pattinson, everyone's impressed by Robert Pattinson's voice, his vocal range.
Me too, I am.
Because he's like got this high, not a high-pitched voice, but it's higher and a little bit more raspy than his regular like British voice.
Yeah.
And he voiced a anime character in a Studio Ghibli movie recently. I think it was Studio Ghibli. The Heron and the Boy. Ghibli. And in that movie, his voice was like real deep and raspy, like very. You couldn't even tell if you didn't know that was Robert Pattinson, you wouldn't have been able to tell.
Yeah, that's how he is for Batman, kind of honestly a little bit.
Yeah, so it's cool that he's showing not only his range as an actor in different roles over the years outside of Twilight, because he hated doing Twilight.
Yeah,
he really hated doing Twilight. He did not take that seriously at all, and so it's nice to see him get into other roles and move away from that time of his life, but also being able to show his vocal range and showing that he's not just an actor. He can do voices and other things.
I mean, like I said, those Twilight movies really kicked everybody kicked his back in, and no one gave him the benefit of the doubt for anything. It's like, I do know this man had to make money, right? Yeah. It's just like you working at McDonald's.
Yeah. Have you ever seen him like doing interviews for Twilight though?
Yeah, I have.
He does not take it seriously at all.
No, he never took it
very
seriously.
Silly about it.
They were kids.
Yeah.
You know, these people were kids, man. Yeah. Like these were, for us, they were regular jobs for them. Yeah. These were like the most embarrassing jobs that you can ever think of for them. Yeah. But it helped them leapfrog them into different atmospheres of their life.
It did.
So, you know, it is what it is, man. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely can't wait to see it.
It's going to be good. I think it's going to be a great film.
Also, too, I also want to clear up something. So, Hellboy it comes out this Friday, but not here. Oh. It comes out in UK. Oh, okay. When it comes to the United States, it's going to hit straight to direct to VOD. Oh, that's
even worse.
Yeah. I just think, Jacob, it's not a movie that people really ask for. And I think, it comes on October 8th, 2024. It just looks very low budget. I thought it looks good. Yeah. But
just because it's low budget doesn't mean it's not going to do well. If you put it in theaters.
It's fighting a lot, man. That movie's fighting a lot.
It is fighting a lot, but I mean, so is every movie.
It's unfortunate, but I just think the movie should never got made. It just never should have got made. Yeah. Yeah, it gets straight to digital. It says straight to digital in October. Yeah, that's raps.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, I mean, that's all the trailers I got for today, and I'm a little sad about Hellboy. So
I seen it.
I'm kind of upset about it.
And then the whole topic just on that. Then
well, it's just like you make a movie and then
I mean, at least they're not canceling it. At least they're not burying it.
The movie's
true. Coming out. It's just
that is true.
They see the diminishing returns is not going to be there for the movie, Jacob.
I know, and I get it. It's just it sucks, and it speaks to how the movie industry is.
Yeah, like I'd rather you do this than do what DC did, Warner Brothers, and just act like a movie that didn't never happen. Yeah. The Batgirl.
This segment sponsored by
the People Against Vegetarians Eating Plants. Save the grass, eat some ass.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening, and if you would like to join the conversation, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at On The Go with Jacob and James. You can find James on Instagram at
James9794.
You can find me on Instagram at jacobdantone.audio. I'm on the go. James is on the go. We're all on the go.